Yesterday was Veterans Day, a somber day on which we remember those who gave time from their lives to serve in the military. And I have said this before. Think what you want about the missions our military is sent on. That's a political issue. And I often disagree with the missions our military is sent on. But I never ignore or miss that we don't have a draft in this country, and I didn't have to do any military stuff because enough people volunteered to do it. Now, it's a perfectly fair criticism to say, well, the problem is the people volunteering to do it are not diverse enough in terms of political background and whatever, when it's volunteer only, you get a certain type of people in the military. That's a conversation we can have. We can say there are certain folks not well enough represented among the military. The military is preying on people of color. Fine. But I remain thrilled that I didn't have to do anything in the military because enough people are volunteering. So it's a somber day, et cetera. Joe Biden tweeted a message of sober respect saying, quote, "Today we honor the service of those who have worn the uniform of the armed forces of the United States. To our proud veterans, I will be a commander-in-chief who respects your sacrifice, understands your service, and will never betray the values you fought so bravely to defend." That's Biden. Donald Trump, meanwhile, much like on Veterans Day in years past, made it all about himself. And yesterday, it was conspiracy theories about how he really won the election and how he really won the state of Pennsylvania. Trump tweeting, quote, "A guy named Al Schmidt, a Philadelphia commissioner and so-called Republican, Rhino, is being used big time by the fake news media to explain how honest things were with respect to the election in Philadelphia. He refuses to look at the mountain of corruption and dishonesty. We win." Now, aside from the, again, completely disrespectful nature of Donald Trump doing this on Veterans Day, as a reminder, the closer we get to 100% of the Pennsylvania vote being counted, the bigger Joe Biden's lead is actually getting. It recently surpassed 49,000 votes, onward and beyond to 50,000 votes, inching closer to Biden winning Pennsylvania by a full percentage point, putting it out of recount territory. But it doesn't matter. Trump doesn't care. Veterans Day, it's about him. It's all about him. Trump also tweeting just before the start of Veterans Day, video from Fox News' Laura Ingraham show, promoting once again voter fraud conspiracy theories. And this really shouldn't surprise us because Donald Trump has never cared about veterans as people. Remember that during his presidency, which will soon be over, Donald Trump cared about using the VA as an example to claim successes. Many times Donald Trump claimed we did Veterans Choice. In reality, that was Barack Obama's program from 2014. Trump cared about using soldiers as props. Trump even said during the coronavirus pandemic that he continued to meet with military families, Gold Star families during the pandemic. What a great guy. And he even suggested that it might have been because he continued to meet with Gold Star families that he caught coronavirus, maybe from one of them. He actually said that, if you can believe it. So what we're ultimately getting to here is, number one, this is the last Veterans Day on which Donald Trump will do this as president, unless he runs in 2024 and wins. But we're not going to really deal with that for the time being. Future Veterans Days, I do imagine Trump will continue to tweet, "I did more for veterans when I was president than anyone else," or something like that. He'll still make it about himself in the future. But the other thing which we're going to be talking about today and on tomorrow's program is that this entire voter fraud thing that Donald Trump has been pushing, it's working in a few different ways. He has convinced 86% of Republicans. We're going to look at the polling tomorrow. 86% of Republicans now believe Joe Biden is not the legitimate winner of the 2020 election. That's a very serious mind virus for which we seem to have no vaccine. There's no inoculation. I guess critical thinking and education are the inoculation, but that is there's a significant dearth of that in the United States. And also privately, the latest news is that Donald Trump knows he doesn't actually have a path to victory through these lawsuits and claims, but that he's doing it as theater. And of course, the sick reality of that is there are people who can't afford it, who are donating to Donald Trump because they believe maybe their donations will help overturn the results. It's sick, and we'll deal with all of that in the next 24 hours. Let me know your thoughts about the Veterans Day fiasco, once again for Donald Trump, via Twitter, where you can find me at @Pakman. If you love feeding your intellectual curiosity, but you're always struggling to find the time, check out one of my all-time favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist lets you consume an entire book on your way home from work. They take thousands of popular nonfiction books, condense each one into text or audio that you can get through in just 15 minutes, and you get all of the important core ideas and information from that book. It's perfect if you don't have enough time to do all the reading you want to do, or if you just want to sample a book before you buy the entire thing. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.